I'll admit I shouldn't have took off yesterday, but I am still trying to reach my goal of 1,000 videos, and then really taking it to a whole nother level. So, but if I want to make that by the end of the year, I still don't, unless I do 5, 6 videos a day, and I'm trying to make this one under 30 minutes, because anything beyond 30 minutes, then people lose interest. You know, today is the 24th of August, or the time is 6:20ish or so, and I'm just time stamping this to let y'all know where I'm at, so that y'all know where y'all at as far as what's going on in the world. Um, yeah, I'm not a politic channel, but a lot of people my age, I'm Generation X, is so caught up in politics. It's like we're forgetting the children. Like I was fortunate enough to I have a 14-year-old, and most of my videos I kind of make for him. So I'm gonna do a little gameplay today. The game I'm gonna do today is Legend of Mana, but I also try to make it educational for the teenagers. So he's 14. So yeah, he's supposed to start understanding not politics but social studies. He's supposed to start to understand the executive, judiciary, and Congress, and how those three entities work together to be our federal government. I mean, period. We are a country of states. So right now we have 50 states. There's actually a few more, they say, because Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, like we have. I guess they're sub-states, but their voice should matter too, since they're a part of the United States of America. And then we do have a lot of immigration going on. So we do have Haitians, Jamaicans, uh, Dominicans, et cetera, that Cubans that come and be a part of Mexicans that come and be a part of this country, and seek asylum here, and seek citizenship in our country. Even Canadians. This whole dual citizenship, right, is the gist of all the problems that we're seeing right now. Where it's okay, you have two different countries, and now where is your loyalties lie, and it's causing a lot of conflict. Especially with quote unquote African Americans. Um, if you're African, and or you live in America, and but if all of your loyalties lie in Africa, right, then you know which land are you going to be 100 with? You can't be 50-50, and we see that as a problem in a lot of relationships too. It's 50-50, but as soon as there's a choice to be made, somebody has to be that 1%. Like somebody has to be 51 to 49. You got to be. It can't be 50-50. Like you can't sit at a roulette table and bet $5 on black, $5 on red, and expect to win every time. There's a thing called double knot or double naught, right? There's a zero and a double zero, right? On the roulette board, right? So it's not red and black every time. It's not odd and even every time. It's not high and low every time. Sometimes it's that green zero or that green double zero. That's why they did it that way, because that reduces the 50-50, right? It has to be 1%. I'll say it. God, it's got to be 1% God. And that's a lot. That means a lot. So that means you just can't sit there and break even playing the game. No, the casino got to make some money somehow. So you're not guaranteed to win every time. There it is. It is that simple, right? So that's why they don't have flipping a coin as one of the games at the casinos. It's roulette or rolling some dice, right? And the dice is, is 1 out of 12 is the numbers, but some numbers are more, you have a better chance of getting than others. So therein is the double six, the six and the seven. You know what I mean? The difference between, getting those mid numbers and getting snake eyes, which is 2 and 12, double sixes, right? So, the odds are different for each one, and where you lay your money is how you win. That's why it's called craps. But yeah, it's been a while since I've been down to AC. That's my local one. I'm from Philadelphia, and I'm rapping and rapping and rapping, and then I have the B1 FBA thing on my screen right now because it came out foundational, right? They're starting to, that's what I brought to the table. I'm like, yeah, I can be B1. That means day zero. That means my people been on this land since the beginning. Since day zero is the day that the Messiah walked the planet. So yes, all right, cool. God walked the planet on day zero. This is 2025, the year of our Lord. Cool. This is my land, like, you know what I'm saying. So y'all can't. I got a thing called the Constitution, and these are my constitutional rights. My laws. I'll obey the Ten Commandments. So since I obey the Ten Commandments, right, and I got these 10 Bill of Rights, right? Y'all really need to back up and stop with all this unconstitutional talk, especially if you're an illegal immigrant, right? It's like, I see what Trump doing. He ain't doing nothing different than most white Americans do, right? Now they want to use the term foundational American, and I warned on my last couple videos, like, I'm okay with, like I say, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. When I first registered to vote back in 1989, I registered independent, and I've been that way ever since. Now we started calling ourselves foundational Black Americans. All right, cool. I ain't got a problem with it, even though I'm brownish red. I'm a dark brownish red. I'm not triple darkness. That's black. That's what black is. It's triple darkness, as to quote the Great Risen. Nah. I'm a fairly dark brown, reddish brown skin, beautiful Indian hair. Like, you know what I mean? The girls back in my elementary school used to play in my hair and be like, "You got that Indian hair." I'd be like, "All right, what I'm saying, what's up?" shout out to St. Ray's, right? High school was a little different. You know what I mean? In elementary, I went to a predominantly, because I lived in a black neighborhood, so I went to the local school. High school, they started desegregating us, so I went to a, desegregated high school. Even though it was still majority white, they shipped a lot of black kids from the urban areas in Philadelphia to the white areas in order to desegregate us. So it wasn't as many black, or black girls to really holler at, and it was, but we was all from the same neighborhood anyway, like, you know what I mean. So a lot of people from, I'm from 19150, right? That's that's my area code. But there's several area codes that make up what we now call Uptown. So even though I had Wadsworth's area code, I was more Vernon Road. So we ain't had beef with Wadsworth, but yeah, once in a while, them Wadsworth dudes would come down and want to pick with the dudes with us on Vernon Road. You know what I mean? And then the dudes on Vernon Road wanna scrap with Williams and Forest and Fayette. So you know what I mean? We ain't always get along. And who we fighting with? Girls. It was stupid, right? Like, what you got beef with me for? You know what I mean? Because some girl that he trying to holler at wanna get with me, and she trying to hint him to ask me for a chance, and it's like go ask for a chance, Chuck. Like, I'm like, yo, man, I'm chill, man. I'm only 8, 9, or 10 at the time. Like, I ain't worried about no girls. Let's play some football. So now you want to fight? All right, cool. Whatever. You know what I mean? But nah, I wasn't into fighting for girls. I never understood that. But some boys is like that. They want to, over girls, over the clothes you're wearing. The jealous type is ridiculous. And then they took that to high school. So the beef was in high school. They took it to college. So the beef was in college. It's like, dude, why are we fighting over girls? That's stupid as shit. I never understood that, you know. But I did have friends since I was a heavier dude. You know what I mean? I like I was saying, in college I was 6 foot, 220 plus. So I was Tyson in his prime, and kept eating. You know what I mean? Not that calf food, but I would go over to Sal's and tease Sal like I was like he was Sal in what was Spike Lee movie? Do the Right Thing, right? Where the black people at on the wall, Sal, and he just laugh and give me a free slice or whatever. Cause Sal was cool, and what I mean? That was the light, because plus I gave Sal like my whole summer savings that first semester, that first month, And then I had to get a job, and I'm trying to work and eat and go to school and not eat the calf food and all the above, So, but there it is, the college life, the high school life, and elementary life, and my son is now in high school, so I'm proud of him. But we both are humble before one God, our Father, all the time. Hip hop life, love one. So what I got for y'all today? Hey, this is what I wanted. I want to start the show off with this track right here. I already rapped too much, you know what I mean? And I'm like I said, I'm gonna play a little bit of a Legend of Mana for y'all, cause I like to play a game for my son to demo a little bit. And this is the song that I wanted to really kind of start my shows off with now. Yeah, I mean,
we are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
There it is. That's that Malcolm X right there. Just like prison, right? There it is. You know what I mean? Shout out to Killer Army. I'm loving this album. You know what I mean? There it is. Before I get copyright claimed. They might copyright claim it anyway. But that was just a sample of some real hip hop that I like to listen to, But I consider jazz, all music genres, all movie genres. Music, movies, and gaming, video games, whatever genres, hip hop, because they're all art forms, and hip hop is the art of making the most out of life, right? But we first learned how that's economics and how it relates to economics and what's the difference between macro and micro, without killing ourselves over money, which is nothing more than a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. So, more lessons of what I'm truly talking about. It all comes from loving God. That's the first commandment. Love God. All right. All that hate, it's whack. You know what I mean? Love is strong. Hate is weak. But you know what I mean? Like my man Big C told me, don't sleep on them Sith Lords. I'm not going to sleep on them. You know what I'm saying? But that light hurts them. It hurts them bad, I'm trying to tell you. Shine that light, y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna share a little. Who am I gonna share first? Today is Grandma Mildred Faye Hale's birthday. That's my son's Earth's Earth. All right, so that's one of his grandmothers. It's not my mom. It's his mother's mom. Today is her birthday, so shout out to Grandma Mildred Faye. We miss you. She during the pandemic, right? Pandemic caused a lot of lives. And then I'm also gonna bring up Larissa Sherelle Thompson. Larissa Sherelle Thompson is one of the mothers that lost her life during the Biden years and the what's it called, the pandemic, but she was murdered by 5 young illegals, and then that's who Trump is trying to get out of our country. From 13, they was 13 to 21, 5 of them, and it's like they gang up, but as soon as foundational Black Americans is more than 2 or 3 of us in a group, it's like, oh, they a gang too. So they've they've been breaking us up from as a gang since the Sugar Hill Gang, and what's my crew called? Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five with Melly Mel. What is that, a gang? Like that's how the message ended, right? It's like a jungle sometimes that make me wonder how I keep from going under, right? Broken glass everywhere, people peeing in the corner like they just don't care. Shout out to the great ones, right? So I'm going to share a little bit of Shahad Bolson, right? And the only reason why I'm sharing that, I already went over my time. How much time am I going so far? 15 minutes. So it's a 5-minute video of Shahid Bolson. Cool video. He's going to talk about, now it's psychology, but he is more of a philosophical psychologist, right? There's a difference between a psychological, actually that's where order, and when we talk about cumulativity, there's a difference, weirdly, is a difference between saying philosophical psychology and psychological philosophy. And therein is, it's, all right, I'm attempt to exploit it. There's a difference, but it shouldn't be, and how it's relating to other things of that nature, being like Democrat, Republican, or Republican. You know what I mean? So Republic, Democrat. Are we in a democratic republic, or are we a republic of democracy? Like, why is there a difference in the order? And therein is the hypocrisy of politics, when all they doing is changing the fundamental definitions. And it could be as simple as a word as gay, like, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm kind of presenting here, because like I said, I went to my son's high school and they offer psychology as one of the courses, and it's like, did I have psychology available to me in high school? I don't think so. I wasn't exploited to it until college. Even though a lot of the MCs that I listened to at the time in high school was already starting the process of teaching us repetition is the mother of skill, right? Then understanding repetition is the father of skill has a kind of a different meaning, because fatherhood is the cedar and motherhood is the earth. That's where the difference between an Islamic Christian understanding and a Christian who studies Islam, right? So there's a slight difference. It shouldn't be, but there is a slight difference in the cumulativity of those of words, and it shouldn't be when you're dealing with product, product, factor times factor equals product, right? Or no, yeah, factor times factor equals product, right? That's one of the rules of multiplication, and then addition is same thing. But when you're dealing with division and subtraction, that you should have to get your parentheses right, and then that's when we get into the discussions of PEMDAS, or what we used to call back in the day, my dear Aunt Sally. So how mathematics really reflects the truth or false of the world is the new concept that I'm presenting to the world, that I'm calling tautological epistemology. But we'll get deeper into that as we start to learn and get to the path of game group theory, and then the other final graduate course that we're going to end with is topology. But one step at a time, and these are thoughts and ideas that I'm already working on my son. As we learn this year, we're going to learn how to integrate functions over intervals, aka Calc 1. So one step at a time, one course at a time, and I'm at the very beginning still, and we're calling it algebraic logical theory. So there it is. So I'm gonna go straight into the video. Like I said, he's gonna be talking about he's really a philosopher. but he's going to be talking about the psychology of the West, and in his analysis of Donald Trump, um, the issue is that he is he's presenting it in an Islamic way, and it is an analysis of Christianity, and therein is the relation between religion and politics. And once you mix those two without scientific understanding, um, like epistemology, is that a science or is it a metaphysical thought? Hence, the warfare between psychological and philosophical warfare is what he's actually presenting. And just pay attention to what it's going to be a chop up of the different ideas that he's been presenting over this. I've been following him on YouTube for a while, and I rarely share it, but I wanted to share this one here because it's a nice little collage, and they pieced it together kind of like artificial intelligence, and we could talk about it in the comment section, or if I present it again another day. But it is a tribute to them mentioning that they're going to that they offer psychology in high school, and that kind of paused me, because any psychologist that's saying that the LGBTQIA PDF DEI files, right, policy files, aren't sexually deviant, is really going through some mental health issues themselves. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. So there it is. I'm ready. Y'all ready? So yeah, pay attention. Check it out. I'll rap a little bit about it, but I'm going to really talk about.
I was talking about the sort of three major things that have happened recently, that are accelerating, or that have accelerated, that have been used to accelerate the transition to the global south, the transition of the center of gravity of the global economy to the global south, to the south and to the east. The first one being the response to COVID. The second being the war in Ukraine, or rather the response to the war in Ukraine, meaning specifically the sanctions against Russia. Or another way to call that is the deindustrialization of Europe and the destabilization project against Europe. As I've been saying since the beginning of the Ukraine war, this is a proxy war by the United States against Europe, not against Russia. It's a proxy war against Europe. As you can see, who's suffering the most from this? It's not Russia at all economically, it's Europe. And then obviously the genocide in Gaza. These are the three main things that have happened. Then there are sort of sub events, like the election of Trump. Yes. The election of Trump is definitely an accelerant to the global transition, despite what his own rhetoric is, and his own propaganda is, and what his people think he is. His actual job and his actual agenda is really the polar opposite of what his propaganda and what his rhetoric is telling his base. Within the Trump administration, obviously, you have all of the things that he's done, like the obvious example is the tariffs, which until now it boggles my mind. But until now, there's still people who don't seem to understand that tariffs are being paid by the Americans, not by the exporting countries.
It's the consumers. It's borne by the.
It's borne by the importers first, and then by the consumers after that, because of course the importers are going to pass the cost on to you, or pass the expense onto the consumers. And then there are other things. Obviously, I mean, the organization of BRICS. I mean, the Ukraine war forced Russia, or pushed Russia, to deepen their relationship with BRICS, deepen their relationship with China. It made BRICS more important to Russia, and it made urgent the need for alternative payment systems, alternatives to the dollar, alternative international payment systems aside from SWIFT and so forth. All of those things were accelerated because of the Ukraine war and because of the actions, the sanctions against Russia. as well as, for example, the actual continued use of Russian energy, Russian oil and gas by Europe, but by way of India. So that is a boost to India, which is a BRICS member.
Yes.
It's a boost to India. India suddenly, out of nowhere, suddenly becomes an oil exporter.
To Europe.
To Europe.
Yeah.
So there are many things that have happened, but all of these things indicate, or not indicate, but represent the managed, engineered transition of the economy away from America, away from the West, and towards the global South. And to a certain extent, it's even forcing, or what it comes across as if it is forcing China, for example, to focus on the global South rather than its relationship with the West, rather than its relationship with Europe. It's showing that we basically want the developing businesses and the developing economic and financial institutions and power players to focus themselves on the global South. And here we could really say specifically Africa, the Middle East, so-called Middle East, and Asia. Less so in so-called Latin America, because Latin America is
Still under the.
it remains the backyard of America. And so America as a regional hegemon, which is all it really is at this point, and certainly all it is going to be, and all it plans to be, and all that the A National OCGFC will allow it to be. And okay, that's all that they will allow it to be, but that is within the context of it really doesn't have any choice except to only be that. But they're not even allowing it to imagine that it can be something else. As a regional hegemon, their jurisdiction, if you will, is going to be in the Northern Hemisphere, primarily in Europe, and they will insist upon Central and South America remaining within their grip. And that's where the neocons are going to be working, in Europe and in so-called Latin America. So I think that, like, for example, you see now that they've sent warships to Venezuela. I think the type of American foreign policy that we're used to, which is dominated by the military-industrial complex, most likely we will see that manifesting itself in so-called Latin America and in Europe. But
there it is, right? I had to do some edits and all is good. So I know that was a lot to consume, right? How much time I did? 27. All right, cool. I got 3 minutes. I knew that was a lot to consume. What else can I say? You know what I mean? This is the game that I wanted to play. Legend of Mana. Let me see if I can switch screens without messing up too much. I'll admit. There it is. There it is. Can I get some volume on it? Let me see. So, let me cut this music off too. And I can cut it up on here a little bit. So, there it is. So, this is Secret of Mana, or this is Legend of Mana. Secret of Mana is another game. I'm not going to get into the gameplay really. I ran over time. My apologies. That's what you get for missing too many days, and there was a lot that's been going on, especially in the B1 family with FBA, Foundational Black Americans. And I'm going to make another video in a little bit, touching more on that. But I just had to. I feel as though I had to touch the other side's perspective, because Malcolm X is a key figure when it comes to hip hop culture, and he's a Muslim, and so is Shaheed Balson that I just shared, and they're not really on the same side. They are, but they aren't. That's where we seeing the same division going on in Christianity, right? I mean, we're going to deep dive into it some more, but I just feel that I had to present it in this way to like let y'all see how deep the conversation has to go in order for us to achieve freedom, justice, and equality. It has to go that deep. Um, so yeah, all this, like I got family that's mad at me because they have Trump derangement syndrome. It's how could you vote for him, right? The same thing when I'm sharing biblical text with them. It's the response, instead of saying amen, it's you don't know me. Like, wait a minute, what? Like we're so confused by what's going on in the hatred in our heart for the president. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate Biden, but I chose to say that I hated Biden because I knew before he opened the floodgates that he was going to open the floodgates, and the detriment that it was going to cause us as a country. And it did exactly that. So by that December, I was already telling Democrats, even after that Zoom call that he had with the Black Caucus, like I was sharing that, like, yo, this is stupid. Y'all see what he's saying that he's about to do. And people were just going along with him, not understanding what he was actually saying. And once he did it, like I you know what I mean? They knew that I wasn't going along with it. What happened to me, right? And now I have to fix. It's either do you take accountability or responsibility? Which one is it? Right? I'm doing both. Yes. No, we had to go. Now Kamala, that's Kamala is what's his Emhoff? That's her husband, right? That's her head. Right? She needs to just listen to her head and shut up. Same with Ketanji Brown. Her husband is her head. That's why he's okay with her saying she doesn't know what a woman is. That's completely disrespectful to foundational Black Americans. Right? I don't care if she's on the Supreme Court. Acting like you don't know the difference between, you know what I mean, if you don't know what a bio, because of biology versus psychology. No, that's hypocritical. That's unacceptable, right? When asked that question, Ketanji Brown was supposed to respond, "Am I not a woman?" speech. And that's the great, legendary Sojourner Truth, right? So, I mean, we can wrap it, or Isabella Humphrey. We'll get more into the history and the dates and all that good stuff. And I'll be back with more games like this and explaining games like that, but I'm about to eat me something and probably make another video and upload that right after this one. But this is Volothan Modulus on Tautology, just letting y'all know. Yeah, I'm about to bring the thunder. All right, I'm gonna share this one to Facebook and YouTube. The next one I might just share to YouTube because I need more subscribers over to YouTube. So come over to Volo Television, VOLOTELEVISION, and subscribe. I need more than 69 subscribers. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm just going to start sharing just content there, and I'm going to bring more content of just me and my son playing a video game like this, or explaining video games and board games like rolling dice, playing Parcheesi maybe, checkers, and even maybe just sharing a video of us outside shooting basketball or throwing a football or throwing a baseball around, riding a bicycle together. Because we need more of that and less of our daughters shaking their butt for attention. I'm just keeping it 100 with you because I'm real, right? Love God, our Father, all the time. Hip-hop life, love one. As God is love, hip-hop is life. Time is holy. Money is nothing more than that fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist, because the art of making the most out of life is hip-hop. And economics, I guess, but y'all still got a lot to learn. One, God is understood.